Today I'm going to give you the best piece of marketing advice I can possibly ever give you. Now I know a lot of you on here are on here specifically because you love photography. You're not looking for business, so this really isn't for you. But if you do this on the side or you do it for a living, I'm going to give you some good knowledge. And the funny thing is, a lot of you will argue with me, tell me I'm wrong. And I'm going to give you a short story. So I do marketing for a salon that's next to my studio. And obviously the salon is filled with stylists, and it's a big salon. I think there's 30 some employees. It's not a small operation. And about 4 years ago, I came on board just to help them do their marketing, because I'm next door. I do photography. I can shoot for them, so it was a good income for me on top of what I do now. And they had a $15,000 a year budget for marketing, and I said, lose the $15,000, pay me. I need $200 a year. And I don't remember what that was for, but I still spend it on occasion, for a boost or something like that. But it's very rare that I do it. Now, when I started this, I started the way I do marketing, and it wasn't social media. And I know the young people are very, very stuck on social media as, hey, this is where I get my business from. And I'm going to explain to you what I had to explain to them. And there were some tough times throughout the years that I worked there, because I was wrong and they were right, because I'm old and they're young and I'm not hip. Seriously, that's the argument. They weren't getting enough likes, or they weren't getting enough followers. That's why they don't have business. I stuck to my guns, and I did it the way I knew would work. Now, when social media is your only or main platform of advertising, when I sit down to scroll through Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, I never scroll through and stop an ad and say, oh, good, an ad, I'm going to look at this. When I see an ad of any kind, it doesn't matter what it is, I swipe through it. The same thing on all platforms. And their argument is, well, if they're looking for X, they're going to stop and that's an advertisement, and they can come to us. Well, I have to tell you that if I asked anyone, let's go to a restaurant tonight, search for a Chinese restaurant in this area. The first thing many, almost all people do is they lift up their phones, they go on Google, and they do a search. And they find the restaurants that are close by. Some use Yelp, some use whatever. But the majority, believe it or not, is Google. And again, don't argue. I'm not looking for an argument, and I'm sure that some of you use Yelp or some of you use Bing or whatever. But the majority are Google. And it's rock solid, and it has presence, period. Now, I never paid for anything on Google. I did try a couple click payments once or twice, and I literally ran them for 1 week and stopped because they just didn't pull anything. So there was at one point where the salon owner said, listen, my girls are probably right. You need to do this, and don't worry about Google. And I said, the only way to prove this is to stop it. And I did. I stopped it for 3 months. Now, the background on this is, when I came into this salon, they were probably at $700K a year. In 2.5 years, I took them to 1.8 million, strictly using Google, non-paid Google. So just to back up a little bit, I stopped the social or the Google and I went straight to social and pushed on social, and their money dropped off so fast it was ridiculous. Now, Google's not just You can create a Google page. I don't know if they still call it a Google page or not, but it's a Google business page. And I'm like shocked to know how many don't have one. And if they do, they don't update it. And you're more religious, and I say you, and I'm not saying everyone, but most are more religious updating on their Instagram and Facebook and TikTok than they are on their Google business page. It's very easy to do. It takes 2 seconds, and the returns are enormous, absolutely positively enormous. So there's a Google app, Google Business app that I use, and you pull it up, and it's right there. You can post, you can add a photo, whatever. I'll just show you some of the numbers through here while I'm talking. And this is a random business, but I'll show you the back numbers that I done for this company. And again, I'm not a marketer. I just did it for friends because they needed help, and I was more than willing to help. I don't even do this for me as much as I should, but if you just set up this page, and if you already have one and you're just letting it go, you can't. I mean, you have to be more religious on the Google page than you do your Instagram and Facebook and social media altogether. Anyway, you pull up the Google app and you can post a photo, you can post an update. One says photos, one says update. Just do an update, put a photo up there, put a little text on it, and watch your numbers. Watch your numbers grow. You can add your phone number. You can add, a link to set up an appointment. Everything is right there. And when I tell you that, the majority of people in this world Google something when they're searching for something, photographer, wedding photographer, portrait photographer, they do that. It's period. I mean, I know there are some that look for things on social media, but when it comes right down to it, they're not looking or searching for a business on social media as much as they are on Google. So set up a Google page, get the business app, and you'll see it's really simple. You just, sign in if you have a Gmail. If you don't, sign one up. Set this up. I'm not going to tell you how to do it here because it's pretty self-explanatory, and I'm sure there's a bunch of information things online that you can look up. My only point here is to tell you that, still post to social media. Not telling you not to, but post to Google at least 3 times a week, if not 4 times a week, if not 5 times a week. It's the search. It's the thing that people see. I argued with young people for so long, and it was this year because we just, closed out the year, obviously. And for every one of them to come in when they got their W-2s and say, I can't believe how much money I made. It was the first time, I felt validated, and for someone to say thank you, for not listening and arguing with us, which is the way I took it anyway. But that's all that matters. It's the bottom line. So if you want to build your business and build it the right way, don't focus on social media as much as you are. Again, I'm not telling you not to post on there, but if you're building a business, or if you want that extra money and you want to build slowly on photography, use Google. I mean, it's there. I don't care if 7 people saw your post or 9 people saw your post. You're in their faces when photography is brought up. When they do a search for photography for this or that or anything, you're going to be there. You're going to have a presence. And the more photos you have and the more updates you do, you don't have to pay for this. You honestly don't. There is a paid option, to get yourself ranked up there, but it doesn't matter if you're posting more photos than everybody else. If you're doing updates more than everybody else, you're going to rank up there high anyway. And put a little text behind your photos or your posts. It works. It works like a charm. And I'm telling you, so many people that I've talked to, I just had a lawyer in here for a headshot And, he's asking, what did you do for this or what did you do for that? Because, their business seems like it's doing really well. And I said, well, it was a Google business page. He goes, what's that? And I'm dumbfounded on how many people don't know about this. And if they do know about this, right before I did this, I did a search on a photography company it's pretty popular in this area. They do weddings, and they're ranked pretty high. They have great ratings. But when I went to their Google page, the last update was July of 2019. And I just kept thinking to myself, like your business could be so much more and you could be so much busier, but you're not using Google the way you should be. They started it, but then let it go. And talking to them not too long ago, it was, business is okay. And that's why I went and looked at it, because I want to see where they're at with that. Post some photos there. Get this started and get in the routine of posting. Now, trust me, just download that Google Business app. I'm not sure what it's called. It's just you'll see it. It's easy to set up. It's easy to set up your page. When you go to your profile, you can set up your own website. It's separate from your personal website, but it doesn't matter, because when they go to it, there's a click there, and I have it set up so, like, make appointment. Well, it takes them right to my website when they click make appointment. Phone calls. The salon, like, it shows them how many phone calls they received, what times of the day they received them. It tracks everything for you, and there's hardly any work involved. Honestly, it's easy. It's very, very easy. You just have to set it up. But try it, and I promise you, the business will come, and you'll see an increase, and your presence on the web will be a lot better. Something that Instagram and social media can't do for you. It just can't do what Google can do for you. Anyway, I hope this helps. If you have any questions, leave them below. But as far as the technical side of it, just go look it up, because, like I said, it is pretty easy. You just have to put the time in, and again, it's not much time at all. When you get that app, it's just one click and you're done. It's kind of fun. Okay, thanks, and it was great talking with you again.